today in Woburn. We have had so much going on in the city. I'm really excited to be with you again this week. Next week, I just want to give you a foreshadowing to two guests that I know people have been looking forward to speaking with. First, we have one of our fabulous teachers and curriculum directors, Ms. Connolly, who will be joining us to talk about a really huge civics project that has been happening at the high school and how she's involved the city and what's happening there. So she'll be on next week. Today is their showcase. So we wanted to make sure she give her full attention this week to that. And then also we have Philip coming on board to talk about Juneteenth, and will give us a lot of details about how that's evolved. We've mentioned it in the past, but we'll go into detail about all the amazing, wonderful things that are going to be happening that day. And today we have a special guest who's going to talk to us a lot about their Eagle Scout project and the support they receive from the community and all of that. So before we get into all that goodness, welcome, Scott.
Good to be here, Samantha. Thank you.
You must be exhausted. We had Memorial Day and proclamations and pride flag raising and art history and city council budget meetings and graduation all happening last week.
Yeah, it's back to normal.
Just your normal busy.
It's really, those are the good times. You know, it's nice when you see people pull together in the community for different events, and started with Karen Manor with her healing event, and I know Pastor Bill's here too, so I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about it. That was a really nice special event up at Frullo Field, and prior to that, of course, we had Memorial Day, which was really nice. That was the first time in a couple of years that we've been able to go to all three cemeteries. New veterans agent Bob Davis did a great job, and George Poole, of course, always does well. But it was really it was nice for observing how you're supposed to observe and pay respect to our veterans. So that was nice. And I know I'm working kind of back and forth, but then your mother, of course, had a great event, which was the gun violence awareness, which has grown and grown, and it's gone to the point where it's every year it gets bigger. So and every year it seems like there's another event that underscores the need for more awareness. So your mother's done a great job with that. And then what else do we have? I'll let you ask the question.
Pride flag raising. We did that's another event that's grown quite a lot over the last couple of years. So
yeah, that was a great night, and it's I think this is our third, and it's Pride Month, so the flag's out there, and we're proud to have it fly for the next month. And of course, graduation was a fantastic night, first time ever on a Friday that the weather held out. It started to get a little cool, but it was a nice celebration, and it was great for the graduates to get their diplomas. And they've had a challenging 4 years, particularly the last two, but they really rose to the occasion on many different times, and it's a great class. They've done a lot, and proud of them.
Yeah, it was such a wonderful thing last week to see all the ways the community coming in, from the vigil to the graduation and everything in between. Really made me proud to be part of Woburn. One of the things that I've found very special is the art banners that are hanging around the city, which are student art selected as part of a history contest. I know this weekend they had a ceremony to give out commemorative tote coins, and there's a little map for those who couldn't make it but want to go around and see their special people and where their art is located. Is that map available anywhere?
The map is available, and I just talked to Pat Hughes, who's one of the very hardworking members of the Historical Commission. She's good with the technology. She's going to get us over the map and the list of the winners, and we're going to put it on the city's website, so that'll be available. But Kathy Lucero, I know you know her, Samantha. She's led a great group of like-minded historians who've formed a really, really special group in the Woburn Historical Society. And the work that they put in, the partnership that they had with our teachers, the art teachers, and Susan Tifo, who's the curriculum director for art at the high school. She might be the overall curriculum. I don't want to sell it short, but the art teachers were great. It was a three-way partnership, and the number of people that were down at the Common, we didn't know what to expect, because the first one we had 3 years ago, there were quite a few, but this one we just weren't quite sure. People say they had soccer, they had this, they had that, which families are busy. There were over 2,500 people that were down the Common over the course of the day, just really excited. And it was to me, it was a great community event, and families and students were so excited to be a part of history and do their drawings, which really, again, the importance of Woburn history can't be understated. And Kathy Lucero and the Woburn Historical Society have really, not just for this event, but I mean, they are the most important group for preserving Woburn history and passing it on. And they do it in all walks of way for history. So I want to give a big shout out to them. And also, again, the teachers and the art teachers participating, because you have to have a cooperation and a collaboration. They certainly came together and made a nice event.
It was really lovely. And I just encourage people to walk around and look at all that artwork. You can't help but smile when you see it. And I've been particularly thrilled. I've been catching, accidentally, but catching little ones, seeing their artwork or a friend's artwork or a family member's artwork, and they're taking pictures, and, they're just beaming. And there's nothing better than seeing that prize.
And there's another 300. So we have the 200 on the banner, on the polls, but there's another 300. So if you, encourage anybody to come down, but there's 300 drawings that are taped to the rotunda on the first and second floor. And it's really kind of cool to see kids come in during the week with their parents, grandparents, to point it out with such pride. So, it's been a real special couple of weeks here in Woburn.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you for doing that, and for the Historical Society and everyone, the schools, everybody who was involved. We know it's a big undertaking. It's a lot of artwork to go through, but what a wonderful thing. Talking of sort of things that are happening in the city, we've been seeing some great communication from Woburn Rec about transforming the Shamrock public pool to a spray park and collecting feedback. I know there's lots of interest in making sure that it is disabled, handicap accessible for those folks who might need even surfaces, and all kinds of things that make it a wonderful spot in our city. And there's lots of information Woburn Rec is putting out there about there's surveys, there's meetings, things happening. I'm curious, though, sort of as the background, how it came to be to make that transformation from the pool to the spray park, and any context that we're just, the nosy people like me want to know.
Well, really, it's the pool down there it's kind of at a inflection point where we could either put a lot of money into resurfacing, replacing the filters, and the pipes are really aging. So we've had discussions in the past about we've got two really good pools in Leland Park and also at North Woburn. So we thought it might be a good idea to explore something else. And Splash Park, everybody's talking about how much they like the one at the Clap, but it's a little bit too small, and they're always asking for another one. So it's just been talking with Rory and members of the Recreation Commission. This seemed like the way to go. And like you said, there's been great output and communication between Recreation online. And tonight's the first meeting, so I don't think people will know, but it's Monday night's the first one of a couple more meetings to get more input. And that does seem like the handicap accessibility is a big part of it, and that's that's a definite for any project you're doing these days. So we're looking forward to input tonight, and like I said, it's 6:30 Monday night. We'll have the results by your next meeting, and maybe Rory can come on in the next couple and talk more about it. But it's a great project. It'll be a good project for the city.
Yeah, I think it'll be great to have another space outside for people to get involved. We had budget meetings this week. City Council reviewed a bunch of things. What's next on budgeting for the city? Any next steps that we should all know about?
They've got a few more committee meetings, and then their public hearing, I believe, is next Monday or Tuesday. I'm just putting the final touches on the capital budget, which we'll try to get to them before that, and then they can kick it around a little bit and hopefully adopt it before the end of the fiscal year, June 30th. I think they'll be able to, but there's some good things in there too for capital that I think people will be excited about.
That's great. I'm assuming some of the water infrastructure, is that part of capital budget, or is that something separate?
Yeah, that is, that's the PFAS. I think you're referring to that. That's a big expenditure, and this we're in the design phase, which is going to be about 1.8 million. Which will be the appropriation. Then, the overall construction will most likely start next May. Okay. So it's going to be a major capital outlay, and that'll affect water and sewer bills. That's not a general fund expenditure, but that'll go towards. Most likely that will result, I would think, in a water and sewer increase when we fold in that debt.
Is that when we would turn, I know we've talked about metering and the state required we put in metering, but we haven't turned them on yet. Are those things
That
connected in any way or not?
those are not, but that's the next progression. The logical step would be to start metering. I think we spoke last time that the commercial meters are up right now. We appropriated money to start replacing those meters. There's about 1,000 of them, commercial meters in the city. So that's the first step. We're working on those, as we speak, and that'll be about a year-long process to get those changed out.
Okay.
And then, we'll move, to the PFAS, correcting the PFAS, and then with the residential meters too.
Okay. All right, that's excellent. You've covered all the things I wanted to cover with you. Anything else that you want to touch on?
No, I think that's a lot, other than, as you mentioned, we've got some good events still to come before we get it to July. We have the Juneteenth celebration on June 19th. And then there's the Feeney 5 road race. That's July 4th. And, there's we've got a senior center event next Thursday. That's a big party for the seniors up at the senior center. Marie can talk more about that, but that'll be I think it's next Thursday.
That's great. And I know we have fun runs coming up around Horn Pond starting in July as well. So if you've got any inclination to get out there and walk and run, start training now. They're fun runs. They're not, super competitive races, but they're fun to get out in the community. So excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Scott, as always.
Samantha. Yep.
I'm going to welcome Quinn and Pastor Bill, who is going to join us to talk about a really exciting Eagle Scout project that Quinn has just finished up. Welcome.
Hello.
Quinn, it's really, I love seeing you in your uniform. Thank you for wearing that. I think that's great. Congratulations on completing your project. I know that a big part of being an Eagle Scout is creating, building, ideating around a community-based project. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to create the garden.
So Woburn welcomes, and not just Woburn welcomes, a lot of community groups meet at the United Methodist Church. So I wanted to help United Methodist Church and give back to them as they give back to the community. So I figured, what nicer way than to do a beautiful garden in front of the church.
I love that. And I think you're right. The Methodist Church has become a real community center for us in many ways. Pastor Bill, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your work to support Quinn and how it all came to be.
Thanks, Samantha. And thanks again to Quinn for the beautiful work he did. Quinn reached out to me and said he had this idea for a bee and butterfly garden, which was something we were excited about. Increasing the habitat for bees and butterflies is really important. And so he had this idea of a garden. And as we looked at the property, he came up with the idea of a terraced garden right on the front of our building on Main Street. And I just let him take it from there. I opened the doors and gave him access to the electricity and, offered him whatever support I could. But this is really his project that he designed, he fundraised, he talked to experts, and then he got the whole thing done. So
I love it, Quinn. Tell me a little bit about how you selected the specific plants, right? So for being sort of pollinator friendly, it means a specific selection of plants to go in there. How did you learn about them?
So I actually talked to a landscaper.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Who happens to be the parent of one of my scout peers.
Excellent. So you not only had to do landscaping skills, right? You obviously worked on your communication and community skills, reaching out to the church who has a wonderful location right near the center of Woburn. You also had to have building skills because you built sort of these terraced housing for the garden. Where did you learn how to do the woodworking?
So my dad does a lot of woodworking around the house, and I also watched some YouTube videos.
I love it. YouTube has saved my dryer. It's fixed my microwave. We've done a lot of that work. So that's great. Tell us a little bit about how that will be sort of maintained over time and what people can expect. Is it starting? I would imagine now we'll start to see some things pop up and as spring progresses.
So the plants are going to bloom at different times.
So that's perfect. So you have it set up so that when people come by, there's the most chance of getting some things to be blooming and having something wonderful to look at.
Yes.
That's excellent. And how hard is it to maintain this garden over time? Is that something that we have to look out for? Or is it a little bit self-sufficient given the kinds of plants that are there?
It should be relatively easy. The plants were chosen full sun, and it is full sun. Addition, a possibility to set up a sprinkler on a timer, correct?
That's right.
Oh, that's really smart. My son and friends surprised me with a wonderful little vegetable garden they've planted. And I've been obsessing about how I'm going to water it. I need to set up on a timer. That's smart. That was smart thinking that I didn't think of doing yet. So I might, I'm going to have to go do that. This is excellent, Quinn. Thank you so much for thinking of our community and for building something beautiful and also great for the environment and helping keep and protect bees and butterflies and all the things we need to do that, and showing us what a young enterprising person in the community can do. And Pastor, thank you for always making the church a community site for us and helping enrich where we are and who we are. I know lots of people know a lot about the church and what happens there. One of the things that might be just worth mentioning again is the dwelling place, because it's such a great service. For those who might not have heard of it, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Dwelling Place is a nonprofit that operates out of the church building and provides free dinners to people 3 nights a week, Monday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday night, starting at 5 o'clock. So before COVID, it was a sit-down meal. It was much more of a community of people. Now, because of COVID, we do the meals to go, but we still provide a hot meal. We provide some groceries, and we're starting to let, if the people want to come on in and sit down and just eat and see each other and see friends, we're starting to let people do that. So, you know, it's not only a place to get some food, it's a place to see friends and have conversation, which is, during this time of COVID, has been really crucial for people who might otherwise be isolated.
That's fantastic. What a wonderful chance to see that coming back again in that way. Quinn, thank you again so much for the work that you have done. One of the things I wanted to do is give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about how you fundraised before we left. I know that the community was part of funding the project. Tell us how you raised that money and what it was used for.
I used GoFundMe, the website GoFundMe. I also the church pitched in a little bit. My grandparents also gave some money.
That's fantastic. Well, we have a debt of gratitude to thank the church, your grandparents, and all those people who contributed to the GoFundMe. Thank you again. And as always, Woburn, please continue to take good care of each other.
Okay.